welcome to this week's podcast. Now we're gonna take a look at those that have inspired us. So we thought we would go down this series, and we only found one person, so that's you. Now we have a whole list of people that we'd like to bring in and that have inspired us over the years. But we always start with our week in review of the 4 pillars. There are breathe, eat, move, sleep. So how did we do?
Well, it was a fun weekend with our yoga teacher training. So we spent a lot of time breathing, meditating. That's always a wonderful weekend.
And this was our energy weekend, which is amazing. We absolutely
really
love that. So for those that don't know, it's our Friday. We do a Friday evening, all day Saturday, and then a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
But it is truly touching to watch how, when you immerse into yourself, what happens, what unfolds naturally within all of us. It is really neat to watch. Healing at so many levels that we just don't understand yet. But so neat to be a part of that. Eat. Eat. Yeah, what's going on with the eat thing? I've been, of course, now no dairy. But I'm doing the Thorn Mediclear. I do like that. I forgot. That is a good one.
And really beefing them up with fruits and veggies.
And then I cheat once in a while and have like an egg.
Cheat.
Because that's kind of my cheat for anyone else that cheats sometimes.
Eggs are good.
I know, but I'm allergic to them.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say. I thought they were good too.
And the movies.
We've been doing much better with the move. We've been getting up and
getting our
exercising
14 minutes of target heart rate every day.
That has helped.
Good.
It's too dark out at night, and then we're tired when we get home. So
I'm not motivated at night.
That
it
has
has to
helped
happen
getting up in the morning. And then the sleep, I've noticed that just exercising more is making me sleep better. Finally.
Yes.
I've almost
It's
put that
helped
one
me.
at the front.
As your priority.
As you were kind of working on helping with, getting this thing back into balance, then I've really put a lot of importance on the sleep pillar, and it's made a big, big difference on the quality of the brain for me.
And the heart. I heard this week on TV that they're finding there is a connection between the time when people go to bed at night and those who maybe have heart conditions and problems. And they said the best time to go to bed is between 10 and 11 every night.
Interesting.
It was very interesting. And it particularly affected women. And if you went to bed after midnight, that affected the heart. And if you go to bed before 10, that also affects the heart.
That's so fascinating.
So
Has
that
to
was
do with like hormones, maybe,
very
and like
interesting.
our circadian rhythm.
Very interesting. But the doctor was
cortisol.
saying the heart needs to rest, just like the rest of the body.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting, that window between 10 and 11 at night, which is when I usually
It's easier to get to bed at 10 now for us because it's dark at 5.
Yeah, that
You've
is
got
true.
5
That
hours
helped.
of your brain
Yes.
going, aren't you in bed? You sleeping? Why don't you go to sleep? Right? That's been helpful.
Yeah.
Because we are going to bed a lot earlier now.
A signal to our pineal gland.
Yeah.
It's good.
So we wanted to invite you in today.
Well, thank you.
And so you hit the list with someone that's inspired us. But to think about, when Amy and I were thinking, okay, well, how did we get here? Obviously, you played a big part of that.
Maybe you should introduce her for those that don't know who this is.
Oh, that's true. This is Linda Banter. This is my mother.
Yes.
And so I've known you for a while. I guess my whole life, actually.
Yes.
And so I know that Amy and I, in reflecting, it's like, yeah, you were a big, part of me kind of being introduced to yoga and just this body, mind, spirit connection, and that has led into this long list of where we are today.
Right.
Wellness center
But
journey.
I don't want to just get into that. I mean, what kind of got you into this groove of holistic living, you think? What inspired you to walk this path? You were chatting with me yesterday a little bit.
Yeah, I was. Well, I want to say welcome to everyone that's joining us. And I really hope that you will be able to benefit from what we're discussing today. Because that's the main point of all of it, is we truly are here to help others, to benefit others, but mainly we have to start with ourselves.
Right.
And I guess when I was in my late 20s, I began to question. I had questions that weren't being answered by anyone that I knew, whether it be the church or friends that I knew. So I found myself asking the question, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Who am I? I mean, I journal that down, put it at the top. Who am I? I am a child of God. I am a mother. I am a spouse. I am, and I'd write down things that I am. I still wasn't tapping into who am I? What is my purpose in life? And I think that because of that, it stirred within me an eager, as a woman once told me, a divine discontent. There was something in me that was stirring. It wasn't physical, I realized it was more spiritual. It was a spiritual longing of what life was really about. So I, at that time, started reading some books. One was Be Here Now by Ram Dass. The Only Dance There Is by Ram Dass. I started reading a lot of Joel Goldsmith, Living Between Two Worlds. So I found that if I kept myself open, there would be a teacher that came to me, whether it be through a book, physically, could be my spouse, could have been my children, but being open. And I think that's the main thing, is staying open and receptive to what might be coming to you and not judging it. So there was a little article in the newspaper that said they were going to have a yoga class. And I'd heard about yoga. I didn't know that much about it, but I was kind of drawn to it. And
it was a funny word back then.
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh, you doing the yoga
and
stuff.
People would go, yoga, woo, Linda.
And what year-ish
kinky.
was this? In
And
Anderson,
we're talking
Indiana.
late 60s, early 70s. And no one, I mean, it was really kind of weird. So there was a little article in the paper at the Human Aid Center in Anderson. They were offering a yoga class. And they were offering it to those who were addicted. And it was for addicts. So I said something to my husband at that time. And he said, well, I think it'd be great, but I don't want you to go alone. I want you to go with somebody. I said, okay. So I called my sister. Vicki, would you go to a yoga class with me? She said, yeah, I guess I'll go. So we went to the class. It was a 6-week class. There were 6 people in class, Vicki and I and 4 others. And at the end of 6 weeks, I was the only one still in class.
Wow.
And I was sitting there cross-legged in my little yoga position across from the teacher who was cross-legged sitting in her yoga position. And I felt sorry for her. I didn't say it. And she said to me, don't feel sorry for me, because there's a reason why I'm here and you're here. And I realize now that that was the beginning of my journey into wellness, consciousness, serving, loving others in a broader way.
Your purpose.
Yeah,
Your
it was my
purpose.
purpose.
That's so
Yeah,
true.
I
It
found a
got you.
purpose.
Yes.
And that's what I was looking for, was
From
a
that
purpose.
Divine discontent.
Yeah.
Wow.
So listen to that small voice within you that says there's got to be more. I mean, I was happy in my life. I was happy with my life, my husband, but it was about me. There was something in me that needed more. And
I always
so
thought you were just trying to get away from me. You said I was your most challenging child.
Well, you were.
It probably helped her cope
You
with you.
It did. It did.
I was trying to remember, Mom. So you were teaching yoga in churches, I think.
Yes.
Because you
Yeah,
were
I
doing
did.
this on your own.
Well, I did.
You
I
did the
at the
Kripalu
Y.
yoga.
I was teaching up at the Y and in churches, and then I went to Kripalu. And I had an opportunity to do a teacher training program there in Lenox, Massachusetts,
Wow.
at Kripalu.
Pretty.
And it just introduced me more to books, using books as a teacher. I mean, I loved Joel Goldsmith. I began to read Babaji's books, Amrit Desai's books. It was just helpful to me in my journey. I started going to a meditation class once a week, and that was very helpful to me because I realized I got into yoga physically, which I think a lot of people get into yoga because they want the movement, the flexibility, the strength. But yoga is so many more aspects to
And
yoga.
layers to it.
Right. And so I went in physically thinking that that's what I wanted, and then I discovered the deeper aspects of meditation, contemplation, and
I
it
couldn't
filled
remember
me.
when, and then you did the, of course, then you started, when did you get your massage therapy certification?
Yes, I
Because
did.
you taught that for a long time.
Right,
Out
right.
of school.
Back when Chad, I think we were in college, you kind of started
Well,
that.
when Chad was in high school, I thought, I have got to invest in myself because I'm going to have 3 children in college within the next 8 years. And I had been fortunate enough to stay home and be with the children, but I wanted to do more. And that's when I looked into massage training, and I went to massage school. And when he started Purdue that fall, I started giving massages that winter. And yeah, and I found a way to serve people, which is what I was looking for. It's so interesting
Because
because
he graduated 82, so it was back in 82.
right. It was 82 at that time. So 10 years had kind of happened
Yeah.
between the 70 to 80. And during that 10 years, there was a lot going on with me. I was developing a broader sense of consciousness, of awareness. I call it awareness, really. So then I started giving massages, and from there I had an opportunity with another massage therapist to open a massage school in Muncie, Indiana. And I had the massage school.
That was neat.
So I had my yoga and I had my massage. And from there I went into Reiki energy work and became a Reiki master. So, geez.
Such a
been great.
healing touch. I think, I was 14 when I started dating Eric and got to become a part of your guys' family really from then on out. And I just remember, we were talking about this last night, that even then people would sprain their ankle or something. Like, I just remember you working on a lot of our friends and the family and the kids and your clients, and
Right.
not just the massage but the energy work that I really think was such a huge part of healing. And me getting to experience that, and Eric getting to experience that, being just part of the way of our life. Like, we kind of took it for granted. We were thinking back, like how me being from LaPel, him being from Anderson, but we were both raised with this openness from both of our families to be open to alternative ways of healing. You don't always have to run to an aspirin or a ibuprofen to fix everything. And really looking at the body, trying to get the body into balance. And so it's really neat, the path that was laid for us back then that I don't think we even realized, none of us realized at the time, how we would end up together. And then we ended up, you and Eric and I decided, 2006, to start a full-blown wellness center. That had been something, so I guess maybe talk about that. Was that something that you'd always dreamed of?
I always had a vision of that.
Vision?
That's what I wanted. I had a vision way at the very beginning that I wanted a center where I could really serve people. Because in my mind, service was what my purpose was going to be, is to serve. And I realized that this opportunity was there between the two of you doing it. And I am forever thankful for that.
I am too. We are
I
too.
am forever thankful. Especially going on and having a yoga teacher training program.
2010.
Yeah, which Eric went ahead and did, and we had our Pathways to Wellness and Shamrock Wellness and on to OPT2LIV. Amy involved this whole time.
Yeah, I
So-
think when I look at what we kind of do today, I know there's some people are like, oh, that seems like a lot of work, but we don't see it as work. I think all three of us operate in this circle of service to others. It seems effortless, or I don't know, it doesn't even seem like a job.
Right,
If you,
I agree.
I think a lot of people are like, oh, I have to go to work today. I think we wake up excited, like, okay, let's see what's going to happen today. There is stuff that happens every day, it seems like. But, you work through it, and at the end of the day, helping people to realize this higher quality of life, and in it, maybe the essence of who they are. Again, back to, your divine discontent piece.
Right. Follow that small little voice within. There's a voice within you that urges you to look for more, to want more. It's the spiritual aspect of who we are. We have our physical body, emotional, mental, but we have a spiritual body. And that's a divine thing that we're seeking, something higher.
I've always been amazed, and of course I've spent, Amy, you've had a lot of patients that have had cancer. I spent a whole year with Nancy Schock down at the IU Cancer Center, rounded on patients and all this, and it can be a challenging time for people, depending on the modalities that they use for the healing of that disease. But to watch you, be diagnosed with lung cancer, which I know your brother joked, oh, Amy, Linda, I always knew you were out behind the shed smoking.
Yeah, smoking.
But, to not smoke, and there is two different types of lung cancer,
Right.
so obviously you had the one that was not the smoking one.
Right.
But, so that was kind of interesting for someone that's been this healthy,
Right.
but to recognize definitely in our environment that is full of toxins, even though we're doing our best, sometimes we could still be impacted by the toxins and chemicals that are around us. But the point is that you had this, and
Right.
to watch you go through that whole process of that normally, of course, there's a lot of emotional stuff for a lot of people when they get diagnosed. And to watch you see this as, well, this is what it is. And then to get to the point to where you start down the journey of integrating these different modalities, and the first one was because they did the surgery. Did they do the chemo first? No,
Surgery.
they did the surgery
She
first.
remembers.
We know, don't we?
And then to remove this left upper lobe,
Right.
so then the healing process of that. So we got to spend some time with you after that.
Yes, I was very
But
thankful.
then when the chemo came on board, I remember meeting with the doctor, and he was like, oh, just so you know, this is the chemo drug that gave chemotherapy kind of the bad name. And we're like, oh boy, this could be bad. But then to watch you, and you used visualizations of Pac-Man. Tell us about what you did, because to watch you go through this, I'm like, are they even
That's
putting
amazing.
chemotherapy in you?
Unbelievable.
Because I'd never seen anyone go through it
Yeah.
like this ever
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
And we've both seen a ton of people go through this.
Yeah. Oh, I take a deep breath and think back at that time. Well, I realized I was so thankful for the surgery and having the cancer removed. And the next step, and I accepted that. Was I happy about it? No. But in life, we have to learn to first be aware, oh, okay, I've got cancer. You have to accept it, and then you adjust to it. And so I was adjusting to that. And when the chemo started, I realized that cancer had been in me, was in me, but cancer was not me.
That's good.
Yeah, it was not me.
Mm-hmm.
It was in there, but it wasn't me. It didn't belong there. And so I was never fearful of it. Isn't that interesting?
That is.
I never feared the cancer. I accepted it, that it was there, but not a part of me. And every time I got my chemo treatments, I would visualize, like Eric said, I would visualize the Pac-Man going along and knowing that it was the chemo, and it would ingest the cancer that was in there, but it never touched any of the healthy cells. So it went along and it was very careful. It would go along, if it saw cancer, it would go ahead and ingest it, and all the tissue around it stayed healthy. And I visualized that over and over and over again. I also at that time began to do Reiki energy work on myself and feeling the pranic energy that was in my body, a healing energy that is unseen, that surrounds all of us. And I began doing that every day. I continue to do Reiki every day on my body, every day. And I continue to recognize that I'm not fearful of cancer and that it's not part of me. And for some reason, there was a lesson for me to learn, the fact that I became exposed to it and attached to it, but it wasn't part of me.
Yeah, it was powerful to witness. And I think for many that are listening, of course, we've used the term prana or Reiki, right? It's technique. But prana, depending on the culture, right, is a term we use in yoga a lot of times. But just like, you know, different cultures use different terms, or different languages use different terms. So that would be an unseen energy.
Right.
Others might call that the Holy Spirit, or chi, or whatever the unseen energy is that quantum physics now is starting to, you know, help us to understand, yes, this stuff is really there. And then you went on, and so that blew my mind. Amy and I were like,
it was unbelievable.
Maybe they're not giving it to her.
To
what is happening here? And then you went on with the radiation.
Right.
And that was...
Which I was thankful for. And every time I went, which I went every day for 28 days. And I didn't go on the weekends. I went 28 days. I was thankful for the people that were there. Again, I did visualization. I visualized the radiation only affecting that area of my body that needed to be addressed for possible cancer that could have been left in there, that didn't belong there, that wasn't supposed to be there. And I would just visualize that every time that machine went around my body. I would visualize that. And I was very thankful to those who really were a part of it. And to this day, every morning when I do my Reiki, I'm thankful to the surgeon, to the chemo doctor, and the chemotherapy itself. I'm thankful for the chemotherapy. And I'm thankful for the radiation that I received and for all of those that helped me with radiation. Every day I'm thankful to
it was
them.
amazing to watch. You know, you go through that. And now you're back to giving massage again. Now, how old are you? Giving massage at what age?
Well, I didn't know this was part of the program.
You don't have to answer that, Linda.
Well, really? Well, I'm 77, and I feel really good.
And you're still giving massage therapy.
Yeah, I am. I'm giving massages. And I'm so thankful I can do that again because I want to serve. That was my purpose, is to serve, to know, love, and serve one another. So I'm thankful for that.
So what do you think? What's the secret? You know, it's so common that people do own a diagnosis or a disease, or they are afraid, or they're mad.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a big question, isn't it? But
It is.
I guess it probably goes way back to your searching and your discoveries along the way through your yoga.
Yeah, that's a powerful question, really. I think that what we have to become aware of in life is not attaching ourselves to things that we don't really want in our life. So many people get attached and they can't let go. And so many people are fearful. And I guess I realized that anything that came to me in my life, whatever it was, I needed to accept it, learn from it, whether it be a book, a teacher, a situation that happens, whatever it is. I've never really been fearful of it. I've always been open to receive it because there's a lesson to be learned in that situation. And it was brought to me on a divine level. So I don't know if that answers your question.
And I know watching you through the years and doing workshops with you, you do a lot of journaling.
I do a lot of journaling. It helps a lot.
Meditation,
Yes.
yoga, your
Yes.
Reiki. It seems
Yes.
like those are kind of the core tools. Am I missing
It
any?
is. No, that's exactly right.
I want a journey to find consciousness. I mean, it's so easy to be reactive. And I think our culture today drives everyone in a reactive mode. And you've said the things that trigger this, fear.
Yes.
So, of course, our media is usually fear-based.
Right.
So I think we've pretty much quit watching the media, quit watching the news for that reason. And as you become more conscious, then what you're trying to do is tune into this unseenness.
Right.
Versus being directed by others as to how we are supposed to act or behave. And so I think that's the difference. So you've been from that young, back in the late 60s, driven to find this higher state of consciousness. And from that, your purpose, your service, how your actions in this world can, they say, right? I think it was the Indians, Native Indians, that your actions impact the next 7 generations of people,
Right.
good or bad. So I think
Right.
we're trying to do the good side of that,
Right.
which is good. But to the point of you inspiring us that now you have become a ripple into us, and we hope that what we do then becomes a ripple into those around us. So truly being in that 7 generations of ripple. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. And I think the example you've been not only for us, but our grandchildren, or your grandchildren, our children.
Yeah.
Because I see that reflection in how they're living and what they're choosing to do
The
with their
choices
life,
they
and
make.
and they're serving others and joining. A lot of them are on yoga journeys themselves, and it's just neat to see the
Really
tools
is.
that they have learned through this that you probably don't even realize that have passed down to them.
And I feel like we have a responsibility. The more we know about something, the more it's up to us to share that with others. Things that work for us, we have to share what we know with others. It's part of the journey in life. So don't be fearful about, I can't share that. Those who are open will receive it. Those who aren't won't. And I always am comfortable with that. They say don't throw your pearls among swine. So you kind of begin to know who you can share with, who is open. So stay open and receptive for divine guidance all of your life.
I love it. Well, that was great. Well, thank you for sharing this today.
Thank
We
you
are
for having
so
me.
grateful.
Thank you.
And of course, we are sending these things out a couple times a month. So, if you have any topics, throw them over. We're happy to, entertain those. But I think for the next few, maybe months or so, we've got some people that we want to bring in.
People and things.
Yep,
We're even
people and
looking at
things.
people
That's
and
true. We got things coming
we got
up.
some other, like
Other
books
stuff.
or podcasts or
That's right.
other things that we inspire us. So.
That's right. So we're wishing everyone a wonderful day. Take care.
Thank you.
God bless.